Sirens in Winnipeg. There's one thing I could say for sure. My trailer doesn't leak in the rain. I'm using minimal lighting because I really don't want the attention of having light shining out my dome. And I'm going to sleep right away. Canadian Tire cannot possibly do anything until Mercedes opens because that's where the parts have to come from. I can't even book anything. Nothing. So it's camping in the parking lot. I'm not happy about that. This is actually working. I put this in here, it was at 0%. And now when I take the power off, because it reads 100% while it's charging, but if I take the power off and check it, I'm already at 70%. It's only been an hour or so of sunshine. The solar panel is working. And that's great because I was dead. I couldn't do anything this morning with my electronics. Now I could watch TV if I want to. So yeah, I can charge my phone. Getting a charge. That's just fabulous to know that that solar panel will really work. So I checked and there's an RV park nearby. It's $40 a night. I could totally afford to do that. I have to buy an adapter for the power so I can plug in. But I mean, thing is, it's probably a bunch of gravel driveways with a couple of trees between them and just a giant parking lot. So I'm reluctant. And a guy walked up and says, "Oh, I just live a little ways over there." And I said, "Well, have you got a yard I can park?" And he said, "Sure, I'll come back and lead you there." So we exchanged contact number, and I'm waiting for him to finish his shopping, and then he's going to take me to his house where I can pull in and park, maybe. I mean, I might get there and go, this isn't going to work for whatever reason. But that would be better than an RV park because it's just, I don't know, it's more personable and it's less distance to drive, although there's still some highway travel. I've been doing extensive movement of materials from front to back, including I put the diesel in the galley back. I didn't want to put the diesel in there, you know, gross stuff. The diesel, it's a spare jerry can, but it was on the hitch. It was on the tongue. So the trailer's actually got a different angle from last night. It used to be flat and now it's a little high at the top front. So it's working and it's probably okay to go now once I get new shocks. So I'm starting to feel a little more positive. He's not quite getting used to this. I have found a friend in Winnipeg. A fine fellow who is charmed by my trailer has said, yes, I may use this area while I'm dealing with the shocks problem and lay out my stuff and set up my tent and just set up a comfy little accommodation for myself for a couple of days. So I'm in Winnipeg. I might have said Edmonton, but I mean Winnipeg. On the outskirts. When I first followed him, I just had this whole Hollywood story playing in my head about down a deserted country road. And we passed the abandoned house and I said, well, we didn't turn in there, so I should be fine. Really, really nice guy. Just an IT tech in an affordable house on the outskirts in a quiet neighborhood and loving every minute of it. I like this neighborhood. It's beautiful. It's the kind of place I'd like to be able to live. From cold and wet to crazy hot, so Sam is under the sheet for shade. I've got the refrigerator in the shade with a blanket to help keep it shady because the sun is moving that way. I have to have it plugged in. So I'm going to have to do something right away. It's not working. I'm going to set up a tent. I was hoping I'd get that done faster. Timmy's comfy over there. Seems to be at the right temperature, and it's about time to feed him. This is Arky's rental. Arky is the tenant, and it's his, wow, I can't believe I found such a sweet place to live rental. And I love it. This is the kind of neighborhood I grew up in. And it's just beautiful. And so, a local wonderful local has given me space in his driveway, and here I am all set up with my campsite. Everybody's so much happier. That's It's a hot sunny day and the car was running hot, so I pulled off on a little road here to just cool down, chill. And I'm loving it. So quiet. This is what I was driving for. My ears almost seem to hurt from the quiet of it. This is what I wanted. We're not camping here. We're just stopping to cool off the car. I'm gonna eat some lunch. You know, I still can't upload videos, and that's unfortunate. And you know, no, that's about it. Oh yeah, I got garbage to dump, and I picked up some more here because apparently shotgun shells are okay to litter. I don't know. Someone over behind me is having the worst vacation of his life. His ATV in the back of his truck is fine, but his trailer is a pile of debris and matchsticks and broken glass in the ditch. And people are picking up the pieces. I feel so bad for him. Get fueling. Gas attendant says she saw it all, and that the driver of the RV and truck combo did not stop at the stop sign, and a semi plowed right through his trailer, and he's lucky it was the trailer, not him, that got plowed, because they're moving fast through here. Usually when you see something like that, my friends, on the other side of this bridge is where all our forests are going. Can you see it over there? This is how I'm happiest, listening to music, driving down the road. Sky is blue with little fluffy clouds. The sun is hot. I'm just happy. Spent just over $100 so far to drive from Saskatoon to Northern Ontario. Well, we're still in Manitoba, barely. We're at a closed rest stop, unfortunately, but I'm making it work. This might not actually be possible because I've been here an hour already. You just can't upload in Northern Ontario. There's just not enough internet. I don't know what people here do when they live here, but I bet they pay a fortune for decent internet. Of course, this guy's as happy as it gets because he's got a giant chew stick. And he doesn't need anything more. It's awfully hard to wrestle. It's so huge. I'm at a rest stop outside of Kenora, and boy, I tell you, There's a lake outside my door and a picnic table, and the moonlight sparkling off the waves. That is a Saskatoon bus being driven all the way to Ontario for a paint job. And back again. We're in Dryden, Ontario. So what I'm doing here is pretty simple. This little unit is getting charged off the solar panel, and I've stopped bringing it in the car to charge it off the car because the car doesn't like the extra work, and the solar panel is actually capable of keeping it going. And I plug the refrigerator in when it's hot. It's an ice cooler, and it's also got thermoelectric fan thing going on. So I plug that in on here, and this, when it's hot like that, the solar panel's keeping this charged, and it can make it through the day. It gets a little low, then I unplug it as the day cools, and by evening it's charged up enough again, mostly, to run my computer. Then in the morning, we need charge again. But by the time I get up, it's already been charging from the solar panel. So this is really working well. You know, for an under $500 setup, it's fabulous. Alright, now, this is a lamp from the 40s. I think it's from the 40s. It was my father's. I've put in a very small LED light bulb, and it registers pretty much 0. 10 is because the computer's booting up, and it's running this hard drive. Now in the darkness here I have a large hard drive that's powered and has 2 USB outputs, allowing me to put the smaller one and the card reader onto the big hard drive. Now the big hard drive is my main backup, but it's kind of full, but it's got lots of movies and stuff to enjoy if I get bored. But mostly I spend my time making my videos. For videos I use Windows Movie Maker. It's not the best app, but it's free, and my computer runs it okay-ish, and it works. In terms of entertainment, I have brought things. I have the TV and the Xbox, and I can run them off this power box. I have a whole bunch of musical instruments, a deck of cards. I have things to amuse myself. I've got a book I'm reading, but I don't find the need. I'm actually happy to sit down and work on videos, and otherwise just viewing the views is keeping me fully entertained. Getting out here, looking after my pets, I'm keeping busy. You know it's hot when the hairless dog is panting. Free ice from my cooler at a rest stop. All I gotta do is scrape the dirt off. Yes! You do have to get used to highway noise and trucks. The views. Oh, the glorious views. Much camera action. Yes. So tell me, Mr. Grey Pants, did you enjoy the waterfall? Was it good? Busy eating, huh? Oh, you look happy. We're eating chicken in the parking lot in Thunder Bay that we bought at the superstore. If you ask, they'll sell you just one piece of chicken. And then you can just eat it all up. Share it with your friends. I think the parrot wants it. Want some chicken? You're so rude. We are now driving through the most scenic part of Northern Ontario possible, in the dark. There's beautiful overlooks of the lake with islands and mist and moonlight and stars and trees and rocks. It's just beautiful, and we're going to miss most of it. And I'm okay with that because I've been through here many times, and this is just the get to Ontario lap of the journey. The sightseeing begins in Quebec. If we could see through the forest, you'd see one of the most beautiful views in Northern Ontario. The sky's nice, but I'm not supposed to do this while I'm driving. Can you see it out there? Oh, not really. Jimmy is many layers deep in wool and fleece. And he's still wearing his wool too, his knit goods too. So we could pull the collar up, tuck his ears in, keep him cozy and warm. Because it's going to be a chilly one tonight. Sam's got the nice warm car, and he's covered in a blanket as well as his feathers. So he won't get cold until morning, I think. But with us two wrapped in our wool and cozies, we'll be fine. Timmy's down here wrapped in a lot of wool. And I'm all bundled up with a t-shirt, a sweater, an orange shirt. So I filled up in Thunder Bay, and I ran out about here in the middle of nowhere. The last town had no fuel station at all, let alone closed. I was going to go camp overnight in the fuel station. On the upside, as I was saying, it's not a big worry because the jerry can that I carry in the galley, which is full of diesel, is almost the size of a full tank. I will get someplace where I could get more fuel tomorrow. But to dig it out, I have to dig everything out. That's not a nighttime